So Nikola Jokic is a 2 times MVP, and the big men seem to be back and better than ever before. Joel Embiid is killing it. Giannis might be the best player in the world. Those 3 players were the finalists for the MVP, but Jokic came out and won it. And since those 3 big men are bringing the big men back, it made me take a look at the last center that won the MVP before Nikola Jokic, and that player was Shaquille O'Neal back in the season 1999-2000. Shaq is arguably the best center of all time and the most dominant player of all time, and in this video we're gonna take a look at how dominant Shaq was in the year that he won his MVP. And by the end of the video, we will also compare him to Nikola Jokic MVP season to find out who had the best season. So let's get right into it. Shaq was so dominant that he almost won the first unanimous MVP. And it's incredible that he was able to win it over all of these legends that were in the MVP conversation. And when we take a closer look, we can see that Allen Iverson had a first place vote. That's well deserved from him, but I do feel like Shaq should have gotten the unanimous MVP there. But don't get me wrong, AI had an incredible season. 28 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists on 42% from the field and 34% from 3. I cannot think of a player right now off the top of my head that had those types of numbers, but it just doesn't compare to the season that Shaq had, as he led the Lakers to the best record in the NBA that season. Plus, they had 8 more wins than the second best team that season, and we all know what happened to that team during the playoffs. Just from this photo alone, we completely understand what happened there. Shaq's numbers were so incredible that season that he was actually getting compared to Wilt Chamberlain, and he led the league in almost every major stat when you can clearly see here. Those numbers are so ridiculous because he was actually having such a high field goal percentage while getting double team or triple team almost every possession the whole season. So besides Shaq putting up those numbers and winning the scoring title, Shaq obviously made it to the All-Star game and won the All-Star MVP after posting 22 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists and 3 blocks in that game. Those incredible numbers granted him his first MVP and the only MVP that he actually won over his whole career, and some argue that he should have won 2 more MVPs over Steve Nash. Let's just say how it is, and I think so too, but that's a whole completely different video and we're gonna leave that for another time. Once the playoffs came around, Shaq still kept turning it up, leading the Lakers past the Kings, Suns and Blazers, putting up these types of numbers to lead the Lakers to the finals. But Shaq was far from satisfied at that point. He averaged 38 points, 16 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal and 2 blocks per game on 61% from the floor, and led the Lakers to a 4-2 victory over the Pacers, winning his first NBA championship and the first of 3 straight Finals MVP awards. So in that one season alone, he won the MVP, All-Star Game MVP, Finals MVP, a ring, got the scoring title, led the Lakers to a 67 wins, was named to the All-NBA first team and All-Defensive second team. And off the top of my head, I cannot think of another player that has done what Shaq did during that season other than Michael Jordan, where we're talking about almost a perfect season. The only award that Shaq didn't get that season was the Defensive Player of the Year. But now that we have seen how great Shaq was during the 2000 season, let's compare him to Nikola Jokic MVP season to see who had the better season. Shaq averaged more points and more blocks than Nikola Jokic, but in every other stat here, Jokic has actually put up better numbers than Shaquille O'Neal. And I was shocked to see that Jokic had a higher field goal percentage than Shaq's MVP season. Jokic really had nobody to help him on his team since Michael Porter Jr. was out and Jamal Murray was out, so he was actually getting double teamed a lot during the season. Then when we take a look at some advanced stats, Jokic is also leading the way here, but Shaq is not that far off in any of them. But by just looking at these numbers, we can clearly see that both of them had historic seasons. Then when we take a look at the accolades that Jokic is going to end up with this season, it's just going to be the MVP award, and he's going to end up being on the All-NBA first team. So on the accolade side, Shaq did way better during his MVP season, but we do have to take into consideration that in today's games, there's more space since the shooters of today are way better than those back in the day, and the game today is way faster, which means more possessions, and that's why we see more and more players averaging over 20 points in a season. So it's really hard for me to compare Shaq and Jokic, and I can't really decide who had the better season because Jokic had better stats, but in the terms of accolades, Shaq did way better, almost having a near perfect season. But you tell me down in the comment section who you think had the better season. Don't forget to like the video so that we can help spread this video and more people can watch this. And as always, thank you for watching. See you in the next one.